Okay, so what? Oh, I'm checking some things out. I needed to try something. I got an idea, so just kind of seeing how this works. It may not even work, but I just need to see where I am. Well, I'm definitely not there. Let's see. Okay, good. So I parked myself somewhere. I'm somewhere. Just I'm on a space shuttle somewhere. Okay, let's double check. Check. Okay, and what about? I used to say, why am I not with everybody? So yeah, I did something insane. Whoops. So yeah, that might be a thing. People might need to check that out. Mm, I know I'm talking in my head again, but yeah. Okay. Okay. All right. Yep, I changed. Oh, it did it perfectly. It put me exactly where I wanted to be. I said I wanted to be in the place of um, motivation, visualization. I got it right, at least. I got it right. I ended up where exactly the power of visualization. So it's a win. So I got one success out of it. Okay, so I put a big true here. True success. And we got a 100. We did it the first time. So that's how it works. And now I know how to, so I know how to kind of put myself in a space shuttle and send myself out there into the big universe. Um, I'm still trying to figure out the other part. I haven't quite mastered that yet. Oh, the part I'm talking about. Uh, I'm like, if I'm Buck Rogers, it's just Buck. Just Buck out here. No Rogers. So that's, oh gosh. Uh, so I know how to duck people. So that's a good thing. So I can explore. And I guess I'll let's explore and see what comes up. I do get a little hasty. So I think that I like whenever I want to go live, I want to go live like right now, and I don't plan it out because it took me. When did I start this? So like around Yeah, it took me a while. I started this journey like um 4 hours ago at least minimum of 4 hours ago, somewhere around there. And yeah, so yeah, I know how to put myself exactly in the spaces, I guess, where I wish to be. That's a good thing. Now I just have to figure out like um I still don't know where the party is, or if I have to throw a party myself and like and then I guess kind of send out invitation. Invitation, come to my party, please. Come to my party, please, 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 please. No, I'm still studying. I'm still learning. I have so I've learned how to navigate the algorithm universe, and I only have 127 videos. Um, but somebody like has videos. They have over 200. Well, but they have a huge content base, and so like what I'm saying is the content that it says 127 videos. I literally have 127 videos. Like I literally contemplate whether if I will delete this video because I only would have 127 videos. So I have very little, I don't have very many videos. So I have to also take that into consideration. But yeah, I'm probably going to delete this one because, yeah, I was, testing out I'm doing a test that I wasn't ready for. Like like vamped everything, and and also uh, I was doing really well with what I had. I could have continued to build what I had, but I'm like, no, I'm not gonna do that. I could have stayed in that same space. I That's my impulsiveness. I took the leap, okay? So I did something very like dramatic, and I didn't save anything. So anyway, I think it's good that I did that. I like it. I continue to meet new people. Mhm. Trying to just to figure out um, how I prepare people as they're moving in, coming in. I do actually do I guess make the appearance. I do show face. I do go live, and I'm on cam. I do. I promise I do. So I will be sure to put my face and show the activity that I do on camera. I will do that. But I'm testing. I'm kind of doing a little bit of a test just to see how things run. I'm just testing some things out. But yes, I am going to have some very good conversations um, upcoming, and I think that people will enjoy the conversations that I bring. I think that people will learn a lot um, from the information that I'm going to share. It's healthy. So yeah, I found some inspiration, and um, so I know how to navigate and I guess like pass through the neighborhood. I was making sure that I'm at least in a neighborhood. So I guess that you know I guess the proof is in the pudding. It's proof enough. And uh, yeah. So uh, today, Hump Day, Wednesday, was all about just getting a feel for this, this new direction that I'm electing to take. And so I would, if I would have stayed exactly where I was, yes. But I noticed that, I mean, my hunches were correct. So I got a 100 today. I did a whole bit of like a research test exam all in one. And yeah, it's a shoe in. It worked. So I just have to be a bit more mindful. And also, on an educational basis, it's brilliant. I learned as well. I even, learned a few new words, I guess, in the way that words can be said. So that's a good thing. But yeah, I just wanted to get a test to see how everything plays out, how everything just makes sense and more or less uh, come together. So yes, it does come together just fine. So now all I need to do now is duplicate this in the morning because I've been mapping out actually, like if I really want to work, I actually need to do everything I'm doing now, but in the morning, 6 a.m., not in the evening. Um, People are starting to behave very much like the UK. The UK's like that. Uh, well, if you never know who's going to call you at night. So, uh, yeah. So and the weekend, I said, oh, yeah, I want to work on the weekends. I put all my hours on the weekend, knowing full on well. In California, they all go out to party. So no one's going to be really reaching out to me. If they do, it's urgent. So for the past 2 weeks, I've actually um, began working in the morning, in the midday, and afternoon. Oh yes, and they keep me busy. Then they carry on conversations with me throughout the evening. So that's very fascinating. So that tells me a lot. It tells me that, um, of course, I knew that the world was opening up. The world is opened up. People are like, oh no, I'm going out. And that's good. It is the summer. So this is definitely, Wednesday is a day of research for me. I'm taking advantage of this beautiful Mercury season. And uh, actually, we are in uh, Gemini. Well, on your chart, it says Cancer, but we're in this Gemini. But in the constellation, we have that Jupiter, the Sun, and Mercury all in one sign. So, I mean, there's all kinds of Trinity right there. Yeah, it's very nice. But yeah, I definitely want to take advantage of that thought. I keep sharing that. I'm taking my own advice. I'm sharing with my clients that they can now see the heart to issues and problems and find resolute. So that's what I am doing, finding resolution. We'll definitely uh, try this again, I guess, in another way and see what we get, see if I can duplicate this. But the next time it'll definitely be in the morning, more like, yeah, 6 a.m. is like calling me. So that means my struggle is I used I for a long while I needed to start at 3 a.m. before taking on my American contracts or adding my American contracts to all that I already have. And the American contracts is everything that I explained. It's kind of like it's in the morning, but not necessarily 3 a.m. So when it's 3 a.m., I'm thinking, gosh, I worked so hard, so I wouldn't have to like sign in at 3 a.m. Then I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm returning back to 3 a.m. But it's more like 6 a.m. I'm just being dramatic, but that's still it's like off by 1 hour. It's off by 1 hour. So like I have to begin getting ready like at 4, because at 4 I start waking up. 5 o'clock, start getting ready. It's like get everything prepared. Because I'm also thinking about, uh, yeah, I would be actually going live. That's another one. I mean, you'll actually go live. Yes, I more or less will be live. So, oh, and what do you call it? The what I'm going to talk about is the Bhagavad Gita. So that's the other thing. I will the Bhagavad Gita. I believe it's chapter 11. I'm getting ready to pick it up and like really begin studying that book, studying the Bhagavad Gita a lot. I'm going to get really heavy into that. It's a favorable time. It's also it touches into the spiritual. It touches into the one mind, but I think that we'll get a lot of good information on it. And I've been having these, I guess, a special insight that uh, at least when I think of YouTube, I'm going to begin developing a bit of an audience. So I mean, that's what I want. Um, but I'm just gradually I'm building onto to this. So this is the way that I've chosen to do it. I think it's feasible. It's the right thing, to have something that is definitely like an extension to what I'm doing already, which is working with people, but also to share that. I want to share the same ability onto my YouTube channel and see what happens. I think good things will come of it. So I'm looking forward. I'm looking towards that doing that. Um, but I do sort of have to. I should be creating, I guess, content. I can, as you all say, upload. I can upload, but I also like to go live. So it might be like a go live and then have like I need to maybe begin having kind of like a schedule so I can plan out. Like 'cause I want to do sort of like readings. I want to do readings or some sort, or do universal type readings. Universal. I could do universal readings or something um, like cards. Yeah, I could do like or talk about things like talk about my metaphysical things. I could do that as well. I could start there. So it just really depends, on I guess how everything just more or less plays out. Because in my mind, I'm thinking if it because once I start, in a conversation, I like to stick with it, and I mean it's just so much. It is I'm bewildered. Like there's people who I'm meeting, and they're getting. I mean, I'm just seeing their lives just unravel. My clients literally are rubbing elbows with royalty of like from another country. Like they said, they had their own royalty, but now they are part of a royal circle, you know, and also they get to travel. So, anyways, I'm like, wow, so many other people could really use this type of messages. If spirit is true and can do this for so many people that I'm engaging with every day. I mean, they have me on speed dial. Then I just know that I know that there's people that, even though I'm meeting them on the internet, I know you could go out there in the world, but the internet gives, it gives that little bit of a divide, when people want to be discreet. Oh, there's another thing I'm doing as well. I'm ready to begin writing the books. So I'm officially already have paid into the, I guess, what do you call it, the software, or to be able to, I guess, go into the system and create. Okay, my first writings though is going to start with ebook. So it's gonna be in ebook format first. Okay. But it still, feels like gives you that flip the page feature. It's still like flipping pages. Besides, you already know the thumbnail is going to be excellent. The writing is going to be, college level, university level. I got you. All right. I even took a creative writing class, so I can share. Plus, this interesting topic is on the topic, the metaphysical practitioner with a degree, by the way, with a degree. Also, have the degree and the permissions, the keys to sharing with you spiritual information that are more like that, they're in books and things like that. But it's not me going to say, oh, yeah, let me explain to you the book of Isaiah. Let me break it down. No, 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 no. That's not what I'm doing. I'm doing something better than that, because you already know that. You already can do that yourself. Um, and then, of course, we're non-judgmental. Basically, everybody has access to that material. So I want to incorporate like the bridging of those things, like metaphysically, the bridging, how to, like, people say, yeah, I have this. If you don't have the scripture, yeah, you know how to apply it, but it's like metaphysically. That's where people lack. Like, how do you metaphysically pull that in and make it do what, like, manifest and make it come to life, like bring it to life. Um, and there's a lot of mysteries that intertwine everything, and I shine there because people, they are not real certain. Like I get people and they think that they're offending spirit because they have an opinion, and I'm like, no, spirit wants you to have your opinions. Trust me. And they're like, I feel better with, like, you're saying this out loud. Meaning, there are so many people, like just regular people like you and I, going about our daily lives, who think that they're in trouble with spirit, and they won't make an important step forward in their life because they're fearful that they're offending someone, a spirit that, honestly, we never met. It's that fear of the unknown. Oh my gosh. What if the unknown is real? And what if this unknown is angry all the time? That's all we usually get. And so I intending to come with a very different message than the angry spirit message. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. I think it's gonna be very interesting. I will actually, as you say, so you're gonna be live, and so am I going to, like, I guess, be on camera when yes, 6 a.m. Yeah, I don't tell people when I'm going live. Um, and the way that I guess I hop onto the interface, I kind of like that, where you don't know when I'm going to go live. If people want to know that, they should get to know me. It's not like a demand, like, oh yeah, you'll be here. It's more like, if you know me, then you'll know when I'm gonna be on. If we haven't met, then we have. If you don't know, that means because we haven't met yet, and I haven't told you when I'm going to go live. But since I'm on the subject, I'm going live at 6. Oh, hold on. 6 a.m. That's Central. 6 a.m. Central Time, and so 6 a.m. Central Time. What else? What else? What else? What else is good? What happens then? One second. I lost. Where's where is it? Oh, it must be a song. Oh, there it is. I was like, where is it at? Okay. So 6 a.m. When I go live, I'm going to actually be in front of the camera where you can see me. You don't have to come in at 6 a.m. because I mean, you don't you don't have to stay with me for long hours. Like I go live for a lot of hours. Okay, so I'm gonna start at 6 a.m. and all throughout, the middle of the day and into the afternoon. So yes. I'm testing something and I like the feedback that I've received. I've gotten some pretty good feedback. So I like I made I guess if it was an assignment, I got a 100 on it and it kind of proved my point. By the way, I know how to navigate now. I can go anywhere I want, algorithmically. Doesn't mean, well, I'm assuming that people will see me like passing by. And it's like, they're like, hey, hey, they're flagging me down. I'm hoping people are flagging me down. Oh my gosh. So then I can talk with them and get get a dialogue. That at least we know each other. At least that the next time I'm going to go live, at least because um, I guess when you like look for me, it just says offline. It doesn't have like like a scheduled time. So I have to say that. I kind of like that better though. Like say to people when I'm going live, and once as we become a little bit more familiar, I will definitely like let you know when I'm going live. But I'm definitely going live 6 a.m. That's Central Standard Time in the morning. And but that means I'll be here. You may be at work or wherever, sleep. And then if you happen to come in, make around like 9 o'clock, I will be here, and then I'll probably have taken a break, and we'll be going live again till like at least 2 p.m. No, 2 p.m. 3 p.m. Excuse me, 3 p.m. in the afternoon. So yeah, so from 6 a.m. to like 3 p.m., I will be going live. Not saying I won't go take breaks from the stream, but if you happen to stumble across, definitely you'll see me. Oh, and I'll be in front of the camera. That part. So, what does it look like? Well, I have a workspace, but it's not over, it doesn't overshadow me. Like I'm kind of like in front of the camera, and, you know, that's kind of give you an image. And I got like my desk is where my cards are kind of set up, but this is not about a card. It's not like a card channel necessarily, but at the same time, also kind of like when people go live while they work. So I actually will be working with clients, and whether if you want to just kind of see how I work, if you want to see how I interact with others, when I'm serious and I'm being professional, and to kind of like get a sense of like, okay, how are you helping people? Like, are you really helping people? Are you like a comforter? Are you like comforting people? Like, what do you do? What's your stitch? So you'll get a chance to see all of that part. Um, what I think it is, what I think it is that I guide people to where they're attracting and manifesting their vision, their dream. If it's a vision for some, it's a dream to others. People have a funny, I don't know, all the spiritual words people, I think that we consider abstract. People are like, you could tell, even with them, when they not in front of me, by the way, I work with clients, people over the phone. And yeah, so that's kind of my thing, like I'm that psychic that's put the phone pressed to the ear. That's me. So yeah, people if you say, or if I say, um, like the word dream, people like, because for them it's like the sense of hope, like all these beautiful words that mean something, they're diminished. Like compromise is another diminished word. Humble, another diminished word. Love is teetering. Love is on the fringes. It barely, you know, stays on stable. It barely stable. Continues to stable, because what I get from the loved one is that people want to know, when in a reading, if I say, people know what I mean, but they just want me to go to express what. So I'm like, I have to express to people that I know, although that everyone does not want fairy tale. Some people's story is the other story, the darker story, and that's their story. But besides that, then there's, yes, I am know how to guide people to favorable relationships. Yes, I do. And or if, let's say, it's a like people say, it's complicated. I know how to mind my business and just get the answers to you that you need. However, the moment you ask me, okay, so what are your feelings? What are your really thoughts on this? Especially if people say, would you give this same advice to your sister? I'm like, I will be honest. I'm like, but I'm honest before anyone ever even has to, assume that. But sometimes I can hear in the vibration, I can tell when people need to hear that. Look, I wouldn't direct somebody who was close to me in this path. So I have to already tell you, you may already know. I think you already know. I think you're telling me in so many ways. I'll make very clear, this is not the most highest favorable path that I see. But I can still travel and keep my nose to myself, and I want to equip you with all the tools, the cards. So that's the way that I handle delicate questions, because I deal with a lot of delicate things, things that need to be handled with white gloves, so to speak. But I love what I do. I love helping people and guiding people. And sometimes relationships, they can heal. Sometimes people are actually are justified by saying, well, I just want to see where it goes. Like, I need to stay in this space. I'm not ready to leave this place yet, this job yet. I love those types of readings, because then we can go into, okay, how do we leave this place or person or thing better? Number one. Two, there's always a way. It's just that as a psychic, we tend to say, it's going to be a rainy day today, take an umbrella. So we as a psychic, right? But then they said, well, if you're really psychic and you're really like mystic, if you're mystical, there's a difference. If you're mystical, you can be, anybody can be psychic. But I mean, if you're mystical, okay, since you already know I'm kind of hung in this, I'm in this situation. How do what am I gonna do now? I'm not, since I'm not, clearly I'm not getting out of it anytime soon. even if it's like through my own volition. That's phenomenal. We'll see see what's around, and you'll be given all the tools, all the cards, so to speak, and you're gonna know everybody's play, everybody's hand, and you're gonna say, "Oh, I was prepared for that person," which is beautiful because if anything that you accept, you know that you accept it. They didn't push it upon you. They didn't, what they call it, deny you your choice. You're like, they may have done this, but I was aware that they would do this, and I'm able to accept what I'm willing to accept and decline whatever I'm unwilling to accept. So I love to give people, that's my way of empowering people, giving them knowledge that in normal circumstances they wouldn't be privy to. Um, for example, I like to so people I've never met before, like if I meet a person psychically through a person, I do something where I'm able to share about that person's personality, which I love to do. And based on that personality, I can say what they like, determine like actions. Like there's actions that people will do, and there's actions that people won't do. 1 second. Oh, I have a call. It's a pleasure. Uh, it's a pleasure speaking with you. Yes, I'm always happy to speak to anybody. So it's a pleasure this evening. Mhm. Beautiful. Okay. Okay. All right. Well, let's open these a beautiful door. I'd like to do check around his personality, and this is more of a realistic style reading. It like tells us plainly like what's going on. Right now, he's open to exploring. He's kind of has more than one thing going on, though. You know, he's got a few other, I guess, things. You know, kind of that he's has on his mind or kind of like weighing out, but he is interested in you romantically. He says you're beautiful. He likes your style. Right. He likes your style. He likes, how you are sensitive, like you're a lady, you know what I mean? You're feminine to him. So he likes that about you. Like you seem to relax. You're not on guard, with him these that like he likes the fact that you consider him to be he keeps using the word friend. I hope he softens that a bit. But he keeps saying, yes, yes. She knows I'm a really good friend with her. But I think what he means to say is that he's attracted to you, and clearly there's something still in formation, something still forming. I heard you say something is developing. He and you are developing something. Okay, that's the purpose, by the way. You're involved in his life purpose. I'm not saying he's thinking this deeply, about things, but you are in his life purpose, and if he was to hear this conversation, he would catch up with everything we're saying and say, I figured she'd always be in my life. I can see that. So that's on the time scale. Now he says that he cannot just simply rely on this. He can't just say, well, I take you for granted. He can't always assume that you're available to him. Yeah. Mm-hmm. 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 Right. Mm-hmm. Right. 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 Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we for a there's 20 more, there's 20% left. But was almost, let's see what quickly what they are say that he's in love with you. Universally, he's in love with you. Of course, it's coming through the voice. Now he's at the point. So the last end of it, like what is the fulfillment, the prophecy here? The love prophecy is that he starts to it begins to voice that he's in love with you and you are his better match. There is a root thing going on. There's something you mentioned something about a root. He is at the root tied in with her, right? That he has not. It's like he's hanging on to the dark stuff, like because he protects. He uses that as like a insurance on life, like just in case things don't work out. He's something he can fall back on, like you said. Everything you just saying, he doesn't need it anymore. He has to decide in his mind he doesn't need this anymore, right? I believe that that as he's expressing his love for you and to declare that his love for you with you going forward completely, that's how he's gonna do it. Us like a spiritually unify with you, can become a union with you spiritually. Then he will walk away with you in the end. He does this year. That's a twin flame in the making. I love those two. They are very mature. They have definitely evolved. I would not have want to read for them in 20 any time between before 2019. No. Oh goodness, no. But they have evolved. Oh, by the way, karmic karmic soulmates can become twin flames. So karmic soulmates can become twins. So that's also nice to know. That's a beautiful concept, beautiful thing. That just kind of lets us know that people before we would say people because okay in a reading setting it works like this. Why won't this person do this? And ladies, the psychic was saying, you know, every psychic would love to be that sort of fairy godfather, be your leprechaun, be your genie, be your fairy godmother. But then you realize, yeah, I'm not God. And then, and not even an angel, like then you think it's like, well, because all he would need to do is just about face. That's all he has to do is about face, just say. So, some circumstances, a current soulmate, all you got to do is just like not even tell the truth. We even like right down to the seed, and we're like, yeah, but thank goodness he's not a liar. But he hasn't. If he's gonna say anything, he certainly should say the truth. You deserve the truth. And so, but anyway, I've discovered that now karmic soulmates are actually by choice saying, you know what? Actually, I want to be with this worthy companion. Because we used to think that karmic, like there are soulmates you have that you need. It's like a connection like no other. And if it ever, we always would say, if it ever did work though, woo, that would be like we always think of it as like very hot because the connection is all like like sensual, deep, you know, uh, feeling, emotional, spiritual, soul connection in every way. and then life just like not the universe keeps saying no, no, you two separate, and then you've got some other person that's a soulmate, but they're not a karmic soulmate, and then you're like, yeah, this becomes your twin flame, and we're like, but yet then you have to, then those two have to like develop a soul connect, but these ones that immediately have a, like where they say the kundalini and the world is spinning around the both of them, and do can they become twin flame? Yes, because well, this year soulmates have the lovers of soulmates have proven that they can choose to or to take up their love as a lover as a twin flame, and they become twin flames. And I love the side of the gift that allows me to see, like I could see literally like the day, what do you call it, the astrological sign for Cancer. I can see that vibration, by the way, this Friday. I know that when you all Google it, we are in Cancer, but I mean the correct dates. We're still working out. We have like 2 weeks, a week and a half to go. Still we're in Gemini. Okay, okay, so I can see their energy. That's what I'm implying. I can see their energy is love, straight up love. But he's hanging on so much to the past. I feel like I sense that he was hanging on to the past still. But not like what they said, 1 foot in the door, 1 foot out. And by the way, he's a total gentleman. Like everything that we like if we were if I was allowed to create and a love interest out of thin air, these are the qualities that I would call across the universe. I like that. Please bring him in for my for her, my sister, my daughter, my mother, my auntie, my grand. Bring her in, my cousin. Bring this kind of gentleman in. That's what I would be thinking. She's got to have a gentleman. Bring this kind of gentleman in. So yeah, so I'm kind of already putting out in the universe. Yeah, I think you two are gonna make it. I know that they're gonna make it, and of course she's gonna tell me all about it. She says, "Yeah, that's why I wanted to call you." Or he's like, "Yeah, that's exactly what he says." And it's like, okay. So I always like to say words that you all don't tell me. It's like that's exact, like word for word. Or word for word. That's exactly what I said. Yes, I love doing that. That kept me plenty in trouble growing up, though. But you all love it. In fact, you all tip me for it. So yeah, that is very very interesting. Um, I had the chance to tell my parents, but before they crossed over, but I didn't get the chance to tell. The one I really would have loved to have told, 'cause the one that really made a big deal out of it. My parents made a big deal of it too, but my grandparents made like a huge deal out of it. They hated when I would uh, finish their sentences or say things that I literally. To me, when people are speaking from their mind, they're talking to me already, but there's like no, let me. They want to say it from their lips. I'm like, but you're saying as loud as day from your mind, and they even if that's word for word. So they would have me like literally like bottle down. I'd be just it felt like a bottle of soda, and you shake it and you're going to open it, and it's or champagne. That's what it felt. That's what I would feel like, and they would make me have to listen to every word, and I was like, I would know every word, and sometimes, like I'm saying the words, and people will like add a word or take away a word or redirect it, or like no, 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 and then they'll use a phrase exactly what I was saying. I was like, yeah, that's exactly because I do that. Yeah. So I'm in the right industry for sure. I think that uh, I guess people can use a spiritualist. It's better than trying to pull this with my employers at like a, like a, I guess any job, because I think at any job they wouldn't stand for it, like my grandparents wouldn't stand for it. So, but if people are like, well, actually, I'm paying for that, so you better be able to read my brain, and they're not impressed, by the way, just because I can read minds. They're not impressed. They're like, they'll say, oh, that's what they said. Well, what they look like. They want to know what the person who they already know what they look like. All right, well, I just want to see like how much you know. So, but anyway, so that's a little bit about yeah. That's how I work. Oh, by the way, tomorrow, which is going to be anytime between 6 a.m. and 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. Yeah, on the occasion this will happen. Oh, by the way, I'm reading from the Bhagavad Gita to show you I'm not kidding. Here, I can at least show you. I'm not kidding. I do have it. One second. Uh, did I? Oh, there it is. Yes, I'm going to be reading from this. I'll read a little bit of it. It's look, Arjun said, having heard this supremely confidential spiritual knowledge which you have revealed out of compassion for me, my illusion is now dispelled. And I just love the. Oh, by the way, I will actually be on camera when I. So you're gonna see me laughing and being with great joy. I love reading the Bhagavad Gita. So, um, yeah, I'm looking uh, forward towards um, having our conversation and talking and interacting and things like that. I try to keep an eye on the chat box as well and kind of share with you. Yeah, I've already read the Bhagavad Gita. I've read the Bible, by the way. Things. So I love reading the scriptures. So yeah, I love it. So I will definitely read. I guess kind of. I guess be reading this. Well, these are scriptures, but this is the Bhagavad Gita. But what's so beautiful is that I love how scriptures align. But it's not for me to say. I'm not here to say, "Oh yeah, this is this somebody stole this from something." No, it's not about that. I'm just celebrating. I'm celebrating the one mindness of it all, the universal knowledge, the comprehension part. That's we're celebrating a beautiful material, written about the the source. Some people refer, even say if you're close enough, they say the mother or the father, however it is for well, for me, I like to think of, in the terms of mysticism, that universe or God is in everything. So I always imagine it that way. But anyway, I love. Um, already read the chapter, by the way. Again, I've read. Basically, I keep reading the Bhagavad Gita, then I start over, and I start reading it from. Then now it's chapter one again, and it takes me such a long time to get through the chapters because I have to stop and explain the whole bit because it's also an epic. So yeah, the Bhagavad Gita is, of course, Hindu. It means Psalm of God, Psalm of God, and of course, you think of Psalms like in the Bible. So you start to see these correlations. There's even correlations with I guess with the Greek in the Bhagavad Gita. But it's a beautiful story, and oh, there's a fun fact, and then I'll switch it up. The fun fact is that it is a monotheistic religion. At least so which is like a relief because like there are proper, I guess, monotheistic religions in cultures, and just like so, it kind of like when the relief part comes in, we're not the only one who gets confused about if you want to say the Abrahamic. I don't know if anyone else like follows that doctrine, but I'm saying like how there's people who are they follow that doctrine, but they have it mixed up as well. So guess what? There's people who in who I guess who are Hindu who have it mixed up as well. But the Bhagavad Gita, and just like some have who are Muslim have the Quran mixed up. So I love that. That's like a sigh of relief that we're not the only ones who did that, and that wow, that can happen in like a multi-dimensional way where people mix up their information. They get it wrong, okay? They get it wrong or get it twisted or fabricate or add things and take away things that don't belong. But it's beautiful to actually have the Bhagavad Gita. I've read it all again. I've read it, but yeah, but reading it and being able to see those beautiful ultimate truths. By the way, it's capitalized. Well, okay. One last thing. Gosh, when I start talking about the Bhagavad Gita, I can't stop. Same way, if I start talking about scriptures from the Bible, I can't stop. Um, so like, oh, by the way, I always read if I start a chapter, always read the entire chapter. I don't read like one little thing here and I don't do that. I read the entire chapter. So if it's gonna read chapter 11, we're gonna read chapter 11. If it's gonna read the last week I read book of Isaiah. I read two chapters, chapter 14 and chapter 43, the whole bit. But I always have to stop and like, look at this, look at that. It's like sightseeing for me. Yeah. So uh, definitely we'll do a lot of interesting sharing, throughout. Yeah. So that's an interesting fact because you never hear about the Hindu religion essentially not being monotheistic, but indeed it is. And it's not that somebody came out and said, "Hey, it's monotheistic," or that because when you read the Bhagavad Gita, the primary deity is just the likeness to the Abrahamic. That's the beauty of it, right? Is that no, do not worship. There's no need to worship. But I love the way the Bhagavad Gita says it. Okay, the Abrahamic Bible is going to say you better not. Well, okay, the Bhagavad Gita is like, why waste your time? And besides, I like they're learning as you are learning, and he like paints a picture of course, being the as you say, the God of gods, the Lord of. Then they start praising him and using the phrases that are also in the Abrahamic. Now I know that people can also say, well, there's like that in other cultures too, because I do sometimes stumble across people speaking, about different other scriptures from other cultures, and there's phrases. But to me, I don't think no one did not take or steal. It's more like an evolving of information, and that's what's exactly supposed to do. Humanity becoming more and more sentient, more aware. But anyway, we're going to get into some wonderful topics, especially as the direction of the channel is to get into these fascinating topics. And there's some other things that, and I'm stepping away from the Bhagavad Gita talk. We can talk about that tomorrow, actually. Um, is that, okay, so I have access to a lot of like I guess, what do you call it? uh, how do I address this? Okay, so I have expressed a lot of information on my channels in videos, including just information I've come across because it's happening in the world. And then I say, oh, yeah, this is going on. But then I have material that I have not even shared, I've even brought it up here, or at least on in a live, or haven't posted about any of it. So I'm also gonna start well, in the future. I want to implement that conversation. I have talked about metaphysics. This is along the lines of metaphysical sciences, um, but Yeah, it's definitely has a lot to do with um, like it's like the practical uses of the metaphysic. Yeah, so yeah, it's definitely going to be fascinating. It's already piqued my interest, and it's definitely a conversation all to its own. It's farther along the lines of there's a bit of time where we are like philosophical, where you say it's time to put into practice all those. Right now, we're practitioners, and we're putting into practice all the our little arts of metaphysics and things like that. Information we come across, through the channels. But I mean, this is what I'm describing is more like philosophically, we're putting into practice. Yeah. And people can maintain, by the way, in this journey entirety, we all can maintain our beliefs. It doesn't matter how one believes, chooses to believe. I shouldn't take away. I'm going to figure out how to rework. I'm healing a conversation here. Usually, I say it doesn't matter if you believe or if you're a person who doesn't believe, and you just want to know. So I used to say it like as though they believe in nothing. They believe in themselves, I hope. So I would say, however you choose to believe, this information is useful to anyone. So by all standards, and you'll see. You'll see. I can't. I'm being so so covert about this, and I'm making no sense. It's like I know the language. It's some people call it universal language. I call it abstract language. He said that's very abstract of you. Yes, I use abstract, a lot of abstract, like it's like a second language for me. That's why I love symbols. I like reading symbols. I love interpreting your dreams because I know the language. I speak the language fluidly. Um, but I'm also picking up on how to, working with human beings, people every day from all over the world. I'm learning how, and of course, these people are, you know, they're they're not slouches, Well, no one who I read for are slouches, but I mean, these people are smart. That's what I'm saying. They're smart. They have real life experience. They probably have had like 2 to 3 lives in one lifetime, right? So, um, definitely I've learned how to convey things that are spiritual into the practical understanding. That's what I'm wanting to say. So yeah, definitely gonna get into some heavy. And it's not like what they call it, suppressing, boring, dull. Not no 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 no. The exciting, I would say, intense viewpoints that are like aha type information. Like oh, I'm gonna apply that. That kind of information. So yeah, we're gonna get into that. In the I needed to implement before the phone rang. I was talking about, I think, so I found a software that's gonna allow me to create ebooks. I've had different ideas how to get an ebook or a hardcover, softcover book into someone's possession. Well, I finally figured out how. So I was wondering why it wasn't stimulating me to act on any of those options. Yeah, I need to own my material. So I figured out a way how I'll be able to write the material. So I write, let's say I write an ebook, I will own that ebook, and then I can place it where if I want to put it on shelves, then I can do that. If I want to give it an ISBN number, I can do that. If I just want to just keep it as but it will be in book format though. But I'm gonna start small and do digital first, and then I will, you know, yeah, well, like anything growing, right? And anything growing, we will upgrade, and you'll definitely see the upgrades for sure. I already know what they look like because I did everything backwards. So I studied. That's what I'm doing when I'm not live. Like I already like I studied like how to build an ebook. I know how to do all sorts of things. You know, there's different softwares, and I know exactly where to get them when that time comes. But this one, I mean, it's the reason I'm speaking like this because the place where I'm starting out first, yeah, I mean, it's gonna be a nice ebook, okay, but I know what I've seen. Okay, so there's this ebook, and it's called Flipping Book. You should check it out. I'll be able to add video, audio, and move my move my images in any direction. You know, make increase the dimensions, decrease the dimensions. I'm like, oh, I can't wait to get that someday. So, so I will do that. But yeah, this ebook will not have such features. That's what I'm kind of filling the gap. But however, if you've ever made a purchase an ebook from Google, from I guess like the Google Books or something like that, or the Google Library, and you know how you can like turn the page, but it's like it turns, but the pages will turn, and you can I guess like like I guess use your finger to create like little like highlights and type in notes. You'll be able to do all of that, but I've seen higher realms. I'll just leave it at that. And someday, I will be there, and I will definitely will share that style of content as we grow, as I grow. But I'm definitely um, forward, looking towards that experience with you all. I'm definitely looking forward towards that. It's definitely going to be amazing. It's going to be fun, I think. It'll be amazing, and it'll all come together in my brain. I'm like, oh yeah, it's all going to come together. Don't worry, and it'll be something enjoyable. We will enjoy all of that. Oh, oh, okay. Well, okay. I'm going to end this one, and we'll catch up. We will catch up in a little bit. We'll catch up in the morning or someday. Tomorrow, hey, half the day I will be here live. All right.